Hi everyone, Nicole here from Lazy Day DIY, and today I'm excited to show you this tutorial on how to crochet this lovely reusable wine bag. It's a great way to sustainably give a bottle of wine to a friend or a colleague or a family member, and it's also customizable. This crocheted flower is just held on with a bobby pin. You can use any type of hair clip or any pin or anything. I mean, you can actually secure this right to the bag, but in case you want to remove it later, you can also grab a hair pin or clip like this that can clip on, and then you can put anything on there and create that special gift. Today I'm going to be using the Bernat cotton yarn with a size 4 crochet hook to make this project. All right, let's get started. To make this project, you're going to need to know how to do a double crochet, a single crochet, a slip stitch, and a chain. So for the first row, what I'm going to do is a chain 5 and slip stitch that chain together. Then I'm going to do a chain 3, which counts as 1 double stitch, and crochet 17 double stitches in that ring. So here's my chain 5, and then do a slip stitch to close that ring. So now I'm going to do a chain 3 and work my double crochets. To do a double crochet, you're going to yarn over and insert into the hole, yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through 2 hoops, and again through the 2 hoops. So I'm going to continue working this, and I will get back to you when my row is done. I've got 2 more double crochets left, but it's getting awfully tight, so I'm just going to make room to fit in those last 2 double crochets. We are fitting in a lot of stitches in this one ring, so it is going to be tight, but it'll help the ring lay flat on the ground, and it will prevent any curling up. Okay, so I've finished my first row, and I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3 and close that row off. Now for the second row, what I'm going to do is chain 3, and then I'm going to work 2 double crochet in each of these stitches. So this chain 3 stands alone, and I'm going to work 2 double crochet in the next stitch. So here's my first one. And then I'll work another double crochet in that same stitch. And I'll get back to you when I finish my row. I got 2 more double stitches in the last stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the chain 3. Now if you find inserting your needle a little bit difficult, it's because cotton yarn is not as forgiving as acrylic, but be patient and you will get through it. So now let's do our third row. So that's 1, 2. Our third row has these fans or shells that'll help create and blend into the pattern of the actual bag. So to do that, what you're going to do is chain 1 and work a single stitch. Then we're going to skip 1 and do 5 double stitches in that stitch. Then we will skip 2 and do a single stitch. So the pattern is single stitch, skip 1, 5 double, skip 2, single. I'm going to go ahead and work that now. And then I'm going to skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, and then work a single crochet in here. You can see the fan sort of folds down and covers up those stitches that we're skipping. So again, single crochet, skip 1, and we will do 5 double crochet. Now I'm going to go ahead and continue my third row, and I'll let you guys do the same. Now I'm just working the last shell or fan of my third row. Worked 2, I have to do 3 more. Now all of these plans are on my blog, lazydaydiy.com. You can read the pattern there. I did create the pattern, so I apologize for any mistakes in any of the abbreviations that I used. Okay, so now we're going to skip 2 and just slip stitch to close off this row. Now the next rows work in the peaks of each of these fans. There's 5 double stitches, so what we're going to do is work in the third or the middle of those double stitches. And the pattern, you can see it, the pattern is just 3 double stitches, a single chain, and then 1 double stitch, and it'll work its way all the way around. So let's do that. Now in order to start the pattern off, we've got to slip stitch all the way up to the third double crochet up here. So just insert your needle in any of these working chains and then pull through and slip stitch. It'll just bring the yarn to the working position of where we need it. And 1 more. Okay, so now to start off the pattern, what I'm going to do is chain 3, which will count as 1 of my double crochets, and then I'm going to do 2 more double crochet in the same hole. 1, 2. Now I'll do a chain 1 and a single double crochet. Now let's jump to the next fan. Same thing, 3 double crochet, a chain, and a single double crochet. When I'm joining them together, my first stitch, you don't want to have a big chain, so just make sure that this is nicely pulled tight, and find your middle double crochet over here, and sorry, it's going to be a double crochet, and then just keep that nice and tight and pull it through. There we go. So I'm going to finish. I'll have 3 double crochets here, a chain, and 1 double crochet in the same hole. And again, I'll work in here, 3 double crochet, a chain, and a single double crochet, and I'll work my way all the way around. The bottom of your bag should start to look like this. It'll be curling up a little bit. I'm just going to work into my last fan over here. I just wanted to remind you that when you're joining the pattern from fan to fan, you're not adding any extra stitches there. Okay, so I've just finished my double crochet there, so I'm going to go ahead and do my 3 double crochet. Make sure that's nice and tight. And then I'm going to do a chain 1 and work 1 double crochet in the same hole. Good. So my work is curling. If you want to work on the inside of your bag, you can. I prefer to work on the outside of it, and I can see it take shape a little bit better. So now I have to join the pattern together. There's no other fan there. I know it looks like a big space, but when you're putting in bottles of wine and stuff, it will stretch out. So I'm just going to slip stitch this into the top of the chain 3. And I just did my first row of my pattern. Now to continue the pattern works itself into that chain, the single chain that you did. So we're going to work around the whole bag, and each row will be a level up from the previous row. In order to get to this hole, you've got to slip stitch your way across your work. There. So what we're going to do is, the pattern is an alternating pattern, so I'm not just going to do another, I'm not going to repeat the pattern. this is what it will look like, and it looks just as good, but when I designed the pattern, I did prefer the reverse or the flip of it. It'll just go up like that and it won't be as intricate. If you want to, you can choose to do this, add a little bit of variety to your pattern, and it'll look just as good, I promise. Okay, now to work the pattern, the reverse side, what we're gonna do is do 4 chain, and then I'm gonna work my 3 double crochet in this hole. There. So now I'm going to jump to the next hole. I'm going to do a double crochet, and then I'm going to do a single chain and 3 double crochet. So work your way all the way around, and I'll get back to you to join off the next row. Now I'm ready to finish off that second row of the pattern. So I'm going to do 1 double crochet, 1 chain, and 3 double crochet in that hole. And then I'm going to close that row off. If you remember, we started this row off with a chain 4. So I'm going to insert my hook and do a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, and 3. What that does is it leaves that single chain to mimic the pattern, so it's consistent throughout the bag. All right, so I'm doing the alternating pattern where the 3 double crochets on the right, now the 3 double crochets on the left, and the next row, the 3 double crochet again is going to be on the right. So what I want to do is enter in and work in that hole, that single chain hole. So I'm going to do 3 double crochets. First I'm going to do a chain 3 that counts as the 1 double crochet, and then I will do 2 more. There, chain 1 and do 1 double crochet. All right, so again, working my way around, keeping my 3 double crochet on the right side of the pattern. Chain 1 and 1 double crochet. So when you're moving up and working your way up the bag, there are 2 ways to start the rows. The first way is to do 4 chains and then do your 3 double crochet on the left. And the other way is to have the 3 double crochet on the right. So in that case, you're going to do 3 chain, 2 double crochet, and then a single chain and a single double crochet. Okay, so it alternates the 3 double crochets back and forth, left and right. You're going to work your way all the way up the bag until it measures about 8.5 inches. For me, that made about 9 rows. If you're loosely crocheting, your rows will be a little bit bigger. So you can get away with 8, but what I would still just measure it and make sure fit it on the bottle. Yeah, now when you're carrying it, it will stretch up, so don't be afraid or don't worry if your bag is sitting here. You don't have to do any extra rows, because when you're carrying it, it will stretch up and it will cover the bag and keep it safe when you're moving it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and work my way all the way around, completing my 9 rows, and I will get back to you. So I've gone ahead and finished the body of my bag. I actually did 10 rows because when I measured the bottle inside to get that 8.5 inches of stretch, I had to do that extra 10th row. So if you're crocheting loosely, like I said, you can get away with 8 rows. If you're crocheting a little bit tighter, 9 or 10 rows in my case will be the desired effect. It also depends on what bottle you're using. If you're giving a wine bottle versus let's say a champagne bottle or a larger alcohol bottle. Okay, so I've finished my rows and I've closed it off. The next thing to do is the handle. So when doing the handle, what we're going to do is 6 single crochets, and then we're going to work our way up. It's going to be a chain 3 and 4 double crochet, and then flip the work, chain 3, 4 double crochet. I did 14 rows to create the handle. So let me show you how to get started. The single stitch really just secures it to the bag. So we're gonna go in every single hole. That's 5, and then in that chain, that's 6. All right, so I'm gonna turn the work and do 2 chain, and I'm going to skip this first row. I'm going to skip to the next and do 4 double crochets in a row. Like that. So then we'll flip the work and we'll do chain 2. Now what we're going to do is from now here on in, we're going to work in the base of the chain 2. So I'm going to do a double crochet in the base and then work my way across and do 3 more double crochet. If you get confused when you're going back and forth, if you should do it in the chain or not, what you can do is count backwards. So you know you have to do a double crochet in this hole, 1, 2, 3, and then the 4th one. Sometimes when I do the chains, I get a little bit confused and I lose which hole should my first double crochet go in. So if you just count backwards, it'll save you a little bit of errors. So just to show you, I'm going to do 2 chain, and then I'm looking at which hole I should work into. So I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, and then 4. So this should be where I need to crochet. So I'm going to keep going all the way up until I do 14 rows. But I can do that off camera, so I will get to work. Okay, so 14 rows later, I've finished the handle, and the last thing to do is secure the handle to the bag. You can do this a couple of ways. You can sew it together, you can use the mattress stitch, or you can crochet it. If you want to see how to use the mattress stitch, you can check out my YouTube channel. But right now I'm going to show you how I crochet it together. I just turn the bag inside out so that when I line them up and single stitch right across, I'll turn it inside out and this will be the bad side. So what I'm going to do is do a chain 1 and then line it up right across from where the beginning of the strap hits the bag. So this is where it's going to go. So because this is already on a chain, I'm just going to insert my hook into one of the stitches, pull through, and that will be my first single stitch. And then let's continue all the way across. We're going to do 6 single stitch. This is 5. And the last stitch, I'm actually going to work it from here, from the end of the handle. So I'm going to just go into that loop and then into the next stitch. There we go. Pull that tight. Now what I would do is cut and then weave this yarn through, but let's have a look at our finished product. You can see that ridge right there that is created when you do the single stitch. So we do want to turn our work inside out or right side out. And there we have it. You've got your finished bag ready to gift away. When I created this pattern, I looked for any lace that I thought would look nice on this. So you guys can do that too. If you want to make it your own, you can decorate it how I showed you at the beginning, or you could use this base and then create or use any type of lace that you want and experiment and see which looks good and what is more comfortable for you crocheting. And there you go. You guys, I hope you like this tutorial. If you have any questions, visit my blog at lazydaydiy.com, where I've got the full video posted and also the pattern for this this wine bottle holder. Okay, hope you guys have a great day. Look forward to seeing you soon.